Hello guys, how have you been cooking your ofeAKWU? I know some people will call this Banga soup. In this video, I'll be sharing how you can make delicious ofeAKWU like an old woman with a touch of slave queen. I'll be sharing the tips to making a delicious ofeAKWU. Look at that, guys. Look at this. It was delicious. It was yummy. And this is nutritious as well. In this video, you will learn how to prepare this like a professional. So let's get started with the palm kernel nuts. The success of your ofeAKWU depends largely on the palm kernel nuts you choose. Look at this. Make sure the ones you are choosing are fresh. Make sure they are ripe and mature. Once the tip that I'm showing right now is not deep yellow, don't choose them. If they are pale yellow, it means they were not mature. When you use a premature palm kernel nut to prepare your ofeAKWU, it will give you a black ofeAKWU. Make sure the tip also is not black or brown. That means they've started spoiling. I washed this properly with salt. I added water and cooked with salt as well. Set that to cook and let's move to prepare the protein. I used beef. Any protein of your choice is okay. I seasoned with seasoning cubes. Next was salt. I added large chunks of onion. I marinated for 30 minutes. You should always marinate your protein. It will help to absorb all the seasonings. Set this aside for 30 minutes and started cooking. I didn't add water to cook. 7 minutes into cooking the meat, I stirred properly. At this point, I added water. Look at that. I added water to cook the meat properly until it was tender but not soft. Let's check on the pan kernel nuts to know if they are done. Simply select one and press. If it is okay now, it should be super soft. Look at that. Make sure you select more than one to make sure that they are all done at the same time. Don't just select one and conclude that it is done. I pounded it with a mortar and pestle. I pounded it so well before extracting the juice. Make sure you do this so that you don't waste the palm kernel nut. If you pounded it very well, the juice should be able to come off very well. I've pounded it at this moment. I simply added water and turned to make sure that I extract as much juice as possible. Remember, be conscious of the water you are using at this moment. If you add too much water, your ofeAKWU may end up being watery. So be conscious of water at this stage. Look at the residue. What do you do with this? Trash them as a slay queen. Remember, there's nothing that comes from the palm tree that is a waste. This can be used for so many purposes. Look at the juice that we extracted. I tell you, this juice is as thick as it can be. If yours is too runny, you will have to cook for some time before adding your ingredients. So we set this to cook. While introducing the ingredients, I used beef, dry fish, smoked fish, salt. This is the crayfish I used. I used stock cubes. I used the ogiri. This is the pumpkin leaf, well cleaned and cut. The onions, the habanero pepper, and the scent leaf. Can you see my scent leaf is not cut yet? Can you tell me why I've not cut my scent leaf? I simply washed them. If you know why I've not cut this scent leaf, please let me know in the comment section below. Look at the ingredients at a glance. I simply started pounding my pepper. If you are using a food processor or a blender, you can blend your pepper and your crayfish. I added my ogiri. This is the locust beans. Keep an eye on the juice because once this starts boiling, it can spill everywhere. To this end, make sure the pot is not filled to the brim so that when it starts boiling, it will not spill everywhere. This is the pepper and the ogiri. Next, I washed my crayfish and added it to this. I pounded. You won't even believe that this was pounded. I made sure I pounded everything so well. Look at that. Next, we move to the boiling pot. It is very important to keep an eye on this at this moment. You can see this. It is now boiling. If care is not taken, it will spill everywhere. Make sure while you are filling your pot, you don't fill to the brim. If this pot was filled to the brim, all of this would be on the gas top by now. Okay, look at that. It is now going down, meaning this is now getting ready. Once this is boiling, make sure you don't add any ingredients. Once the storm has come down, cover and let cook. Once this has cooked, it is now safe to add your ingredients. I started with my protein. I added the beef, the dried fish, and the smoked fish. I now seasoned with seasoning cubes and salt. This is the salt going in now. After that, stir to combine everything together and allow to cook. Cover and allow to cook. Once that is cooking, it is time to slice, chop, or cut the onions into small chunks and pound as well. If you are using a food processor or a blender, you would have blended your pepper, crayfish, and the onions together. Now it's time to add everything now. Everything I pounded, the pepper, the obey, crayfish, and the onion. All of them should go in now. Stir properly and allow everything to combine. This is the second batch going in now. It continues to stir so that everything will be well combined. This is the last batch going in. Stir to combine all the ingredients and cover to cook. Once that was cooking, I attended to the scent leaf. I simply cut them. Did you know why I didn't cut this at the initial stage? Would you like to share? Let me know in the comment section below if you know why I didn't cut my scent leaf when I was cutting my pumpkin leaf. Now it's time to taste for salt. You can add more salt if there is need to. Stir properly to combine. Once that was done, I added my scent leaf. This is the time to add scent leaf or your African basil. Add now and allow to cook for some time. I cooked for about 3 minutes. It will allow this leaf to release its scent. This is why it is called the scent leaf. Once 3 minutes was over, I stirred once again. Stir. It is time to add the pumpkin leaf. Once I added the pumpkin leaf, I just allowed to simmer, not to cook. I just allowed this to simmer because you don't need to overcook this ugu. This ugu is a vegetable that is so fragile. I allowed to simmer and this soup is ready. The pumpkin nuts I used was superb. This will go a long way into making a successful ofeAKWU. You don't want the ofeAKWU that will be black, the ofeAKWU that will have taste or smell. Look at this. Look at this. You can eat this with rice. That is what I eat mine with. Look at the ofeAKWU. You will be cooking like a professional if you use my recipe. Would you be trying this recipe? Would you be making this? Let me know in the comment section below how it goes with you. Look at this. The vegetable is still green. It was not overcooked. Look at the oil on top. It is fresh red. If you have used a premature pumpkin nut, you won't get this color. Thanks for watching, guys. Please share with your friends and groups so that they too will cook ofeAKWU like professionals with a touch of Slay Queen. I will see you in my next one. Cheers to your success. Keep being amazing. Bye-bye.